All right, today we're going to talk about sections G, H, and J, starting with special right triangles. So you know that there's a pattern for special right triangles. Let's start with the 45, 45, 90. So 45, 45, 90, this triangle is going to be isosceles since you have two 45-degree angles. So these two legs will be isosceles. If the legs are each x, then the hypotenuse is going to be x times the square root of 2. Okay, on the 30, 60, 90 triangle, you have the short leg, you have the long leg, and the hypotenuse. If we start with the short leg being x, the hypotenuse is twice x, and then the long leg is x times square root of 3. Okay, so on my 30, 60, 90 short leg going to hypotenuse, you're going to multiply by 2. Short leg going to long leg, you're going to multiply by square root of 3. Okay, if I'm going the other direction, then reverse it and divide by square root of 3 or divide by 2. Okay, same thing with your 45, 45, 90. If I'm going from the leg to the hypotenuse, you're going to multiply, excuse me, by square root of 2. If I go from hypotenuse to leg, reverse it, then you would divide by square root of 2. Okay, on these triangles, sorry, I forgot to draw in your right angles and give you some angle measures. So we're going to start with, so these are going to be 30, 60, 90s. There's that one. It's going to be a 60. Okay. So A, 30, 60, 90. So this side, the 7, that is your short leg. Okay, so if we're going to go from short leg to hypotenuse, you multiply by 2, so that would be 14. Short leg to long leg, multiply by square root of 3. Okay, on B, this time you have the long leg. Okay, long leg is always opposite your 60-degree angle. Short leg is opposite your 30. So this time we're given the long leg. So if I have the long leg, that's x root 3. If I want to go to the short leg, you're going to divide by square root of 3. So short leg will be 4 times 2. Hypotenuse is 8. Okay, C, since you have two congruent sides, this is going to be a 45, 45, 90. So if one leg is 3, the other leg is 3. Hypotenuse, 3 root 2. Okay, on D, so we have this side is going to be your long leg, this side is going to be your short leg, and this time you're given the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is twice as long as the short leg. So to go from hypotenuse to short leg, divide by 2, and that's 5. Long leg, multiply by square root of 3 for 5 root 3. Okay, on E, we have this side is going to be your short leg. This is your long leg, and we're given the hypotenuse again. Okay, to go from hypotenuse to short leg, you divide by 2. Okay, just like we did when we went from 10 to 5, we divided by 2. Same thing here, even though this is a radical. So root 6 divided by 2, and there's nothing to simplify. Okay, go from short leg to long leg, you multiply by root 3. So the long leg ends up being square root of 18 divided by 2, but square root of 18 can be simplified to 3 root 2 divided by 2, because 18 is 9 times 2, square root of 9 is 3. Okay, F, 45, 45, 90. So your legs are going to be congruent to each other. And to go from hypotenuse to a leg, you divide by root 2. So divide by root 2 to get 4, divide by root 2 to get 4. Okay, and there's your patterns for your 30, 60, 90s and 45, 45, 90s. Okay, section H, I don't have any problems here. It's just the concept of understanding your unit circle. So you should have your unit circle left from the beginning of the year. It's on a yellow piece of paper. If you do not have that, let me know. I can send you another copy, or in the front cover, I believe it's the front cover of your book, you do have a unit circle drawn out for you. So a couple of things I just want to remind you about your unit circle. So you have your unit circle, and then you have a point on that unit circle. That coordinate is x, y. Okay, so if you remember, and if you go back to the definition we used, sine being y over r, okay, your unit circle is named the unit circle because the radius of the circle is 1 unit long. Okay, so your radius is 1. So your sine would be y over r, or y over 1 in this case. So that means if you have all the points on your unit circle, the sine of theta is going to be your y coordinate from that ordered pair. Your cosine of theta is the x coordinate from that unit pair, that unit point. And then tangent of theta is going to be y divided by x. Okay, your other 3 trig functions are just going to be the reciprocals. So cosecant would be the reciprocal of y, or 1 over y. Secant, reciprocal of x, or 1 over x. And then cotangent will be x over y. The other thing to remember through unit circle is all snow tastes cold. So A stands for all, meaning all of your trig functions are going to be positive. S stands for sine, which means sine and cosecant will be positive, but cosine and tangent will be negative if you are at an angle in the second quadrant. Third quadrant, tangent and cotangent will be positive. Sine and cosine will both be negative. And fourth quadrant, cosine is positive, sine and tangent will be negative. And that should be written on your unit circle from when we did it previously. Okay. The other thing, no, we'll just go on. And we're going to skip ahead to section J. It's short, and then later today I'll come back and do section I for you. Okay, so keeping in mind conversation we just had about the ordered pairs. So if we look at this first point, negative 7/25 and 24/25. So let's say that point is about right there. So negative 7/25 and 24/25. So if you drop a perpendicular, then you have that angle theta. Okay, so the question is find all 6 trig functions. Well, so sine, but remember how we just talked about sine is the y value if you were on the unit circle. So our y value here is 24/25. So that's your value of your sine. Cosine is your x coordinate, so it's going to be at negative 7/25. Tangent is your y value, so 24/25 divided by your x value, negative 7/25. All right, we've got complex fractions here, but their denominators match, so you can cancel out those denominators. And then tangent becomes 24 over negative 7. Okay, then your 3 reciprocal functions. So cosecant, so the reciprocal of 24 25ths is going to be 25 over 24. Secant, reciprocal of the cosine is 25 over negative 7. And cotangent, reciprocal, negative 7 over 24. Okay, so something I want to point out. This ordered pair is in the second quadrant. So we just talked about all snow tastes cold. So in the second quadrant, your sine is the positive function. So if you look, 24 25ths, that's positive, and then cosecant is positive. Everybody else, cosine, tangent, are negative. And if you look, our other 4 trig functions are negative. Okay. Okay, the other point you can do if you like, but it's the same thing. You're in the first quadrant with that ordered pair, and everyone will be positive. Okay, so we're going to stop there for today, and I will be back.